I'm Tyler. Okay. Well, here we are again. It's Sunday, August 13th, 1995, and it's almost quite a few years. It's what? How many years since that schoolhouse been closed, Bob?
1946 or 7. Like
right. We have a cat here. It's having fun here. We have two former students at the Jackson Schoolhouse. I believe that they spent most of their time there, right? You went to school?
I went to school 8 years there.
And how about you, Jesse?
8 years, yeah.
8 years. Yeah. Okay. Bob, do you remember what years you went to school?
1925 to 1933.
Okay. How about you, Jesse?
I must have made a mistake. You was a year ahead of me, going to high school, and I didn't miss a grade. So I must have started in 34 or 26, and until 34.
Lola Ridley, just our first teacher, said she was here in 25 and 26, and I started with Lola.
And I started with Lola in 26.
The second year.
Jesse, what was some of your fondest memories of the Jackson Schoolhouse?
Just a bunch of good kids, really. I don't know. No, we had no problems. Everybody was happy. We didn't have nothing. But, playing games, I guess, recesses, you know, and just a good life. It was a good life. It was quiet, laid back. I suppose our folks was concerned. They didn't have nothing, but we didn't know it, you know.
Mm-hmm. What were some of the games you played?
Oh, Annie over and pom pull away, but they made him quit that. When one brother fell on the one and broke his leg.
What did they do in pom pull away?
Oh, I'm pretty young, but they had a goal, and you had to run by them and get to another goal and touch it before they caught you.
Okay.
And if it touched you, then you were it. And then we played, of course, ball and fox and geese. Fox and geese was a winter game. That was we made a big circle and made a cross in it, didn't we? And then somebody was it. I forgot how it worked. That you had to run around it and cross it, didn't you, Bob?
You had to try to catch whoever was it. And you could cut across to wherever we made paths in the snow. We had a big circle path, and then diagonal paths to the perimeter of the circle. And we could cut across or however to catch the person that was it.
Sounds like a good game to introduce to the kids today. Maybe it'll keep them out of trouble.
Well, it could. Kept us out of trouble anyway.
On a side hill. Well, you know the
I know all about that. I try to mow that. Now, I heard, Jesse, you were talking earlier about the time that you got beat up in the schoolyard there and you went crying behind a...
Oh, that was my brother.
Oh, your brother. Well, you want to share that story?
My brother beat him up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, what was the circumstances around that story?
This kid moved in down here in that house right down there in the summertime. And Lawrence Miller was a bachelor, and that guy was... his mother was going to keep house for Lawrence. So none of us had seen him. And the first morning of school I came down, I lived up on the end of the road there. And so the kids are around there up on the side hill. And I walked down the yard there and he says, "Hey, you, get up here." So I looked at him and ignored him, see. And he says, "I'm talking to you." He says, "You get up here." I said, "You ain't bossing me around." And well, he come down that hill, and oh man, did he ever thump me around. And so I went back to the boys' toilet to cry. See, I didn't want anybody to see me cry. And my brother was 4 years older. See, he was this guy's age. And so my brother was late getting there, and he walked by the back of the toilet there, and he said, "What's the matter with you?" And I said, "That kid beat me up." Oh man, John went up there. Billy wasn't the boss that year. He beat him terrible. Yeah.
Bob, do you have any stories like that to share with us?
No, not really like that.
Well, good stories. I mean,
good stories. Some of the things I remember about the school, we had to carry our water, our drinking water. Every day the teacher would give somebody the honor, and generally two of us. It would be two that would go up the hill to our neighbors, Carrie and Aaron Jackson's. They had a well at their place. Get a pail of water, you had to pump it, then we'd carry it back down, stick a dipper in it, and that was our drinking water for the day.
That was a chain pump, wasn't it, Bob?
I don't
The old chain pump, yeah, it was a chain
I
pump.
don't remember that.
Yeah. The kids today don't know what a chain pump is.
No.
You know what a chain pump is?
Honestly, I don't. So you're right.
Actually, it's a big sprocket with a chain that goes down into the well with little cups on it, and it brings it up, a little water in each cup.
Okay.
The cups are about
Okay.
that far apart, and it brings the water up that way, and it's the way you got your water.
Bob, who were some of the teachers that you can remember back in the Jackson Schoolhouse?
Lola Ridley was my first teacher, and then they say Mrs. Everhart was our second teacher. I do not remember her. After that was Nellie Martin and Annabelle Martin. They were sisters.
Right.
And Mrs. Everhart, or Mrs. Lancaster. Those were the teachers I had.
I understand that you remembered some better than others. How'd that come about?
I guess Lola Ridley, she was a beautiful lady. She still is. And I always admired her beauty, and I guess if I'd been older, I'd have tried to gone out with her. She was a pretty lady. And Nellie Martin and Annabelle.
So us guys really haven't changed through the years, have we?
We haven't changed too much, just gotten older. I don't know why I don't remember Mrs. Everhart, but I just can't bring her back. Annabelle and Nellie Martin were sisters, and I do remember them. And I don't know why, I just do.
And Jessie, do you remember, what were some of the teachers you had?
Same.
Same teachers,
Except I forgot to tell you this. My first secret love was Bob's sister.
Oh, yeah, that's what I want to know. I asked Betty, so how about you, Bob? Who was your first girlfriend in the Jackson Schoolhouse?
Lenore DeLue, that came at the start the same time I did. Actually, she was the only girl there, so, you know.
Did you have to fight over her?
I didn't have to fight over too much.
Colleen, go. So, what was your favorite subject in school?
I don't know. I don't really. When I got to high school, I could tell you it was science, but in the country school, I was a terrible mathematician. And I wasn't much of a scholar, truthfully, till we got Mrs. Lancaster. And I had problems with Nellie Martin. She licked me every day for a year.
Licked you every day?
Yep.
Where'd she lick you?
With a ruler on the butt.
On the butt. Well, that's why the kids mind today. Did it affect your? Didn't affect you any negative ways, did it?
No, you know, it really didn't. I think I probably promoted most of it, you know. But what happened originally, Clifford Rank sat ahead of me the first day of school, and Nellie was writing her name on the blackboard. And they had paint boxes about that long, and they had little things set in there with paint in them. And Clifford took that, and he snapped it over his shoulder and hit me in the forehead. And Nellie's writing her name on the blackboard, and I picked that thing up and winged it, and I missed him, and it hit right beside of her face.
Well, I think you might have deserved a few of those lickings.
She come back there and grabbed me by the hair and took me out in the coal bin. That's.
Yeah, I know where the coal bin.
Boy, she put it to me, and I realized afterwards, if I would have cried, she wouldn't lick me. Because she said to me one time, she was beating on me, and she says, "I'll make you cry yet." I said, "You will never make me cry." I wouldn't cry for her, see? And so she would write in the home of my mother, and my mother gave me a licking.
Only if you went behind the boys' toilet would you cry, right?
Yeah. Something about crying in front of somebody, you know.
How about you, Bob? Do you have any stories like that, or?